Each week when Supernatural's done, make sure you know what went on. Listen to Heather and Eric, get the salt notes for sure.
Good news. I'm going to start off today's podcast with some really good news. Okay. I'm going to be a father.
Again?
No. Of my 3-year-old. It turns out the DNA test came back and she is my daughter.
I was about to say congratulations and shit.
No. It comes back. I was questioning the authenticity of my child and DNA test came back positive. She is biologically my daughter, so I will be a father figure in her life from now on.
Yay.
That was stupid. Anyways, I'm Eric. This is Get the Salt podcast, and this is a girl named Heather over here.
Yo.
What's up? Well, I guess I'm going to get right into it because for me, this was one of the best episodes ever of Supernatural.
It was a very solid episode. Absolutely. We are, of course, talking about season 11.
Don't Call Me Shurley.
Episode what now?
Episode 137. She is frantically...
No, I'm cutting all this out.
Sure, okay.
We, of course, are talking about season 11, episode 20, Don't Call Me Shurley, which I like both the reference and the way they worked it in.
Well, I don't know what the reference was. What's the reference?
Don't Call Me Shurley?
Yeah, what's that from?
Surely you're serious or whatever.
Surely I am not. I am serious, actually. What is that from?
Naked Gun?
Is it?
I don't know. Something,
actually, yeah.
Leslie Nielsen?
Yes.
Don't Call Me Shirley?
Yes. That was like a joke from that movie, right?
Yeah,
or
but
a
then
scene
it's
from that movie.
kind of, surely you can't be serious.
I
am, and don't call me Shirley.
Is that what they're paying homage to in this episode, or the title from the title of this episode?
I think that was one of their little jokes in it, yeah.
Oh. Well, this was an awesome episode.
Yes, absolutely. Well, directed by Robert Singer.
I knew it was going to be an awesome episode from how they finished off the last episode where he actually turns out Chuck is God and he meets Metatron while he's digging through the trash. Or is that where he went? Yeah.
Yeah, Metatron was dumpster diving.
And
it's hard being a human.
He's like, oh, we have some stuff to talk about. And you knew you were finally going to get some answers that we've been, or I guess humanity has been asking for a long time. Where the hell is God? Where the hell has God been this entire time?
God has come back. Chuck has been God the entire time because there was some kind of debate about whether or not Chuck was a prophet. And then when he died, because as we know, there can only be one prophet at a time. And so we assumed Chuck was dead when Kevin came. But there was some debate over whether or not he was a prophet, and then when he died, God used him as a meat suit type thing, or whether he was God the entire time and was just hiding in plain sight, and that is what happened, what we discovered as God and Metatron hang out in a bar, which is designed to be like Cheers.
Yeah, well, there's two stories going on simultaneously. There's a side story of
the Sam and Dean side story, which is very much like the Croatoan virus, as the Amara's fog is infecting everybody, much like it at the very beginning of the season. Yeah,
it was which now the makeup is much better than they did the first time around because I saw some definition in the black veining this time because I'm very visual, and the first time I felt
you're
like
not intellectual. That's
no,
for sure.
that's for sure. The veining in the first time they brought that the whatever it does to you, it takes you over, or the virus or whatever.
Kind of gets rid of your soul.
Yeah, it was kind of just like I don't know if it took your soul or brought the worst out in you almost.
Yeah, it does some weird stuff. It kept making everybody kill the people they loved. Strangely.
Yeah, well, so there's two stories going on simultaneously. The one with Sam and Dean.
I feel like that story with Sam and Dean really doesn't matter in this episode. It's just a little side plot to see Sam and Dean fighting. Like you could have watched that and not cared a single lick about it. The only reason that existed was to get Sam and Dean into a bad situation at the very end.
So God could save him.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't really too important to the story or to the episode, but it did play an important part at the end, as we find out later, to help show how awesomely powerful God is, and he still got his juice. I was thinking almost even that maybe God had even lost his juice. There were so many theories going around of why God wasn't showing up, or why he didn't give an F, or he wasn't alive, or he was dead. There was so many theories going around. People didn't know 100%.
I think it was basically just God's a dick, and he was like, I'm tired of this shit. And turns out he was. He went off, started a cat blog. Like, I loved the nod to Revolution, which was Kripke's other show.
Yeah.
Didn't really go far. Didn't do much.
No, it's just you get all the answers that people have been asking or theorizing about. So it turns out God has been around. No one knows. This is such a huge episode for me because the fact that he has been gone for such a long time, and now he's finally making an appearance, and you kind of see what he's been up to.
Because the Winchesters have finally fucked things up so badly that God himself, who disappeared for thousands of years, needs to step in.
Well, it's not so much the fact that the Winchesters, yes, have fucked up, but it's the fact that I'm sure he can feel the presence of Amara, and he knows what's going to happen from him saying, that she's just basically destruction.
But Amara would not be here had it not been for the Winchesters.
Yeah, they fucked up. I mean, it's been literally a domino effect of things going down, but it has been created by God himself.
Like, you get the feeling that Chuck loves them, and God loves them, and he's amused by them, and genuinely likes the Winchesters, but isn't there a point where God's going to be like, y'all are more fucking trouble than you're worth?
See, but this is the thing.
Before you guys got involved, all the demons were in hell. Lucifer was locked in a cage. Amara was locked away. I didn't have to do anything.
See, but this is where having God as a character in your show, it has its hiccups, because God is all-knowing, omniscient, omnipotent. It means he knows what's going to happen before it happens.
Mm-hmm.
He knew this was going to happen.
Did he know that he was going to change his mind?
Well, that's where you start getting into...
Did he know that he was going to change his own mind and say... Because first he was going to just let Amara destroy the earth and let her have her turn for a while.
Well, that's where you get into stuff that hurts my brain. And thinking of those kind of situations where did he know that he was going to change his mind? I don't know. I mean, there's 1,000 things that you could probably think of, that situations that could help or say yes or no, whatever. But when you have a character like God, that's when you get into these kind of situations of, did he know or did he not know, or was he doing this on purpose? Or again, stuff that hurts my brain to think about. But the fact is that God has been gone for a very, very long time. He starts telling you all this really crazy internet stuff, like he had a cat blog or...
Yeah, well, that's what he's been doing because he showed up first as Chuck with the Winchester Gospels, a.k.a. Supernatural. So he showed up as the writer of those first, and then he kind of disappeared. Chuck disappeared. Everybody assumed Chuck was dead because when Kevin shows up as a prophet, they ask, oh, well, what happened to Chuck? And Cass says he's got to be dead because there can't be two at one time. What Chuck did during that time, or God as Chuck did during the time from when he was the prophet and disappeared until he came back now, was went off and started a cat blog. He wrote another series called Revolution. It didn't really go very well. And he's written his autobiography, which is why he's actually pulled Metatron into this bar now, is because he wants Metatron's his editor. He needs some feedback. And yeah, I loved the conversations, between Rob and Curtis Armstrong. They both nailed the fuck out of this. These scenes were mind-blowing with them.
One of the things I love the most that they did is that they actually spent time with them. It wasn't like you got little bits and pieces here and there. There was actually substance in this episode of them going back and forth and talking.
Right. I mean, there was a lot of... It was a deep dive because not that much happened. It was just a lot of debate back and forth. It was very dialogue heavy. There's no action happening in that bar between Metatron and Chuck, or God.
Well, first of all...
Can I still call him Chuck? Yeah, call him Chuck.
I mean, I like going to detail. I love details.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we don't know anything what happened previously to Chuck, it's cool because it's still a mystery. Could maybe even delve further into that into season 12. But where has he been? What has he been doing? Has he been creating? Has he been doing other stuff previous? So we're not going to talk about that because you could theorize on that for 1,000 days. So from what we know and what you were saying, first of all, he built this safe house, this bunker.
Yeah.
That is the safest place in the universe to be. Something that even Amar probably couldn't even destroy. That's where he was planning on living out this destruction period.
Essentially, God is going to let his sister destroy the universe because he's tired of building it back up or taking care of her or things like that. He's going to let her destroy the universe, but he's built himself a safe place where he himself won't be locked up or destroyed. Because I doubt Amara could destroy God if he couldn't destroy her.
Yeah.
I doubt she can destroy him, but she could possibly lock him up. So he's protecting himself, but he's just ready to let everything else go. He's kind of tired of all their shit. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, and no one could say it better than Metatron said it in this episode. What he did a phenomenal job.
For somebody who seemed not to like humanity very much, he really argued on behalf of humanity incredibly well.
He's also a very selfish, and he was taking care of himself too. Don't think that he was all about saving humanity, because at the end of the day,
was he? But
God's going to keep just him around. He's going to end up being destroyed as well.
I don't know. Maybe he was. All he had to do was sit there and keep God talking about his book for a couple hours. Like, the end of the world was scarily imminent.
Well, yeah. So you see that the cloud is coming by, starts taking everybody, and you start seeing in the bar, he starts showing Metatron images and videos of catastrophic events going on in the world currently. There was storms and tornadoes, the cloud of people getting infected and killed. So yeah, shit is going down on Earth right now. Amara's kind of like, I guess, starting.
Amara, who we don't really see in this episode.
No, we don't see her. Starts really, starts things rolling. So God shows it to him, and Metatron's like, oh shit, this thing is getting real. So at first he's questioning whether it's God or not. Did you see the mug that said "World's Greatest Dad"?
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw when they come into the bar. Yeah, Chuck's sitting in a booth at the bar, and you can see the little mug, "World's Greatest Dad," which lie.
Yeah, right. Well, he thinks he's the world's greatest dad. I mean, it does. This episode really gave God personality. First of all,
it gave him Chuck's personality.
So I thought some of the things that were cool was the fact that he can turn on and off his power or his.
Right, he can hide himself.
He can
from
hide
people
himself
that even know him.
So he gave him
the way angels sense other angels, or angels could sense God. He turned off that little amulet, which disappeared a long time ago, but all of a sudden popped back up. He said, "You wouldn't believe where it's been the whole time." He didn't tell us where it's been, so you're right. I don't believe it because I don't know. But he was able to. He forgot that Metatron couldn't tell that it was God. He had to turn off his hiding so that Metatron could see that it was really him. Metatron, one of the few angels who's actually met God face to face before, so he would obviously know. So, and then he was also hiding from that amulet. He's hiding from everybody.
He gives Metatron some glasses because now Metatron's basically a human. He can't.
Right.
He can't see God without exploding.
If you remember back in the day, regular angels couldn't talk to people. You made psychics go blind if they looked at you. You popped out people's eardrums if you tried to speak to them.
Yeah.
Like, it was a big to-do. We never really get that anymore.
Well, I mean, because they're not really shown, because now they're in vessels.
Because they're not talking as angels anymore, I guess.
Yeah, they're not seeing their actual true form, but God shows his true form, and he's like, and Metatron's like in awe. He's like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you. Where have you been?"
There's just a bright light. Oh,
yeah, it was pretty awesome. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the fact was when, he's able to turn on and off his presence. So that's why the amulet didn't work when they were trying to find him. And then God has been writing his autobiography, which,
it's titled simply "God," an autobiography.
He starts going through it because, not that he's forced to do it, but if God's telling you to do something, you're gonna do it. So he's going through and he's reading
Metatron is editing. Yeah, he's reading over it.
And then he kind of gives him a BS answer at first. God tells him, "Oh, we're in a safe zone. Nothing's going to happen to you here. We're okay. Tell me the truth. What do you really think?" And then he lets him have it. Tells him how horrible it is. There's no details in it. This is, I mean, I can't put it in any better words than what he did, but basically saying that this is not what people are going to want to read.
I got to tell you, I would actually be interested in reading that. Not, obviously, I don't think God's actually going to write a damn book. or I mean, there was the Bible, but that wasn't him. But like, if there were an actual book written as a satire that was like written as if it was God writing an autobiography, like I desperately want to read what somebody would write there. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that could be so interesting.
Yeah, like sloth. Was that an accident?
You
What
know
I
what?
was
That should
doing
be-
when I
that should be a
created sloth.
chapter.
Yeah. What I was doing when I created sloth.
The most awesome work in the world, the true work of heroes, is what you were doing.
So yeah, and so we continue with the conversation with God because there was so much that was going on.
I mean, it was all variations on a theme. Like, God, you need to be looking in yourself because clearly you're just like, whatever. Like, you're not looking into what you're doing and what your motivations are. You're not giving any reasons or details or anything like that. If you're going to write a fluff piece just to write a fluff piece, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you even bothering with this? Writing something for people who are about to be dead.
Exactly. Like why would
Like,
you? Yeah.
who are you writing this for? You are the only one who's going to read it.
And that's
Like,
what he just wanted it for himself.
So, but why are you not being honest with yourself at this point?
Mhm.
If you're going to write it, then why not be honest?
And those are the kind of questions that Metatron made him face, and which made him think about.
The question is why, and that is the question you get about God gets about everything. Why anything?
Right. Well, I mean, that's what people want answered, and that's what he made him write. Like, give us an honest, truthful biography. Like, what have you been doing?
I loved, God ended up going back and starting to rewrite his autobiography based off of Metatron's suggestions, and you get chapters like prayers and why I don't answer them. And you should be glad I don't. Like, yeah, pretty much.
No, it was great. It was a great episode. So,
and God did admit to hearing all the times that people were calling to him and praying to him and things like that, and he straight up just ignored them. It's not like he turned off his angel radio and couldn't hear anybody.
No, even Metatron said he was praying.
Yeah.
He was calling out to God, and he didn't answer him.
Yeah.
So
God's a dick.
yeah, so
But
God's a dick.
God
So
Damn, did Rob Benedict look good in this? Oh my God, like God's a dick, but he's a hot dick. Is it wrong for me to be so sexually attracted to God?
well,
Like,
it was very funny because as we were talking about it in the office, we actually work in a 2-story building, and it's a very open space. So pretty much everybody that's on the first floor can hear what's going on the second floor. So Heather's walking by, and we're talking about the episode, and she says, "Is it wrong for me to be sexually attracted to God?" And then that's all somebody heard on the first floor. As I'm walking back, somebody's calling me, "Eric, did I just hear what I think I heard?" I'm like, "Yeah, you heard that right." And Heather was cracking and probably somewhat embarrassed.
no, not at all,
No.
because actually that is probably the most innocent thing somebody could overhear
Yeah.
me say today. Because
Yeah.
trust me, I had some weird conversations. Like, I have weird conversations. Asking if it's wrong to be sexually attracted to God is one of the least strange conversations I've had all week.
But can you imagine someone not knowing what we're talking about just hears that statement out of context and has no idea, and they just said, "Robert, be sexually attracted to God." It was great. It was
But you haven't answered my question. Is it wrong? Like, I'm okay, right?
No, it's pretend. We're all pretending.
I'm not pretending
No,
anything.
no. Of course, there's nothing
really
wrong.
fucking hot.
Listen,
Like, Rob looked really good in this episode. I don't know what it was. Like,
Listen.
facial hair different? Like, the clothing? Like, he was kind of more clean cut, like, put together
Listen,
than you know?
I've had the
I don't know what was going on.
I've had the hots for Romaro since day one. Epic cleavage. I can't deal with it. So yeah. So then.
Anyway,
you're getting-
sorry for that little side note.
It was great. It was awesome. So you're going back and forth between what's going on in the bar safe zone and what's going on on the world, and Sam gets infected. He gets caught up with the virus or whatever the thing is.
The Amara's fog that's rolling in
Yeah.
and infecting everyone and making them kill each other and kill themselves and things like that. Sam and Dean are trying to save a few people, but of course they're failing.
Well, me
So-
watching the episode, I'm like, that lady that's like kind of in the fog. I'm like, Sam, move on. You can't help her. Just get off.
Yeah,
Like, run,
just
dude,
Let
run.
it go.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm totally not a hero, but I was like, nope, she's too far away. Move on. So he gets infected, but Dean does not get affected by
Dean
the fog.
But Dean was expecting to. Dean decided to stay with Sam rather than run
Yeah.
off and leave him the way you suggested Sam leave the woman. Dean stayed with Sam, and that's one of those things that I think, God obviously is seeing everything that goes on all at once. But that's one of the things that Metatron, I think, was arguing about humanity, is that they keep fighting.
Yep.
And they keep pushing on. Like, they stay loyal and they don't leave the way Dean didn't leave Sam. And then it turns out, but Amara really loves him, or whatever, or they're still connected.
Yeah, they're still connected somehow.
Are they connected? Did she choose to have the fog not affect him? Or is that it can't affect him because they're connected, whether she wanted it to or not?
We don't know.
Was that a conscious choice on Amara's part that Dean would be saved from the destruction of the universe? Because is it going to be like God and Metatron in a bar, and then Amara and Dean off somewhere else, like 4 people left in the universe, and it's them?
No, I feel like, yeah, they do have a connection. I think that eventually is going to be her weakness. I think Dean is going to be her weakness. That has been my theory from day one, that Dean's going to sacrifice himself to kill Amara, and then God's going to bring back Dean.
You kill Dean to kill Amara, and then you bring Dean
or
back.
to not kill Amara, but to injure her, or to she might have some sort of hesitation by doing something to Dean, and then ultimately will lead to her being either captured or caged or killed or whatever. That's going to end up being her weakness, is going to be Dean.
Maybe one of them for sure.
So, I don't know if it's a conscious decision. I think she just maybe has some sort of connection with him, and maybe he's immune to whatever she has. Because he's not immune to her powers, because he's been knocked away by her, or
Right.
So it's not that he's immune to her powers, but maybe she's given him some sort of immunity to certain things or whatever. But so the Dean stays with her, which we know that was not. He's never gonna leave his brother, right? But the episode was totally not about anything to do with what was going on over there. But so we go back to the bar after seeing some of those scenes, and Metatron is so hard fighting for God to step up, because he seemed kind of defeated. He seemed kind of like he was just like, oh, I'm so done with this shit. I just want to move on, let her do her stuff.
Yeah, he's, saying it's Amara's turn. I locked her away. My bad. He locked her away because he kept creating things and she kept destroying them, like a little toddler who steps on your big brother's, Play-Doh sculpture or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm gonna interrupt you, because there was, when they first started talking about the actual him changing his idea for his biography, his autobiography, that when Metatron brought up, well, you have to talk about Amara. And I think this is when God got scary for me, where he's like, okay, he's not all like happy and positive and,
well, Chuck said himself when we first met him way back when that he is a cruel, capricious God.
Yeah, or he's not all good. Where he said, you have to talk about Amara. He said, no, this is about me. I was like, ooh, Jesus, this guy's... Can you say Jesus around God? Oh, my God, your son.
Wait, does Jesus exist in this universe?
I think it's a spiritual thing, I guess. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, but the fact he said, this is about me, showed that he sins. He's
really quite...
He's egotistical and narcissistic.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he's totally sinning himself.
Yeah. But, they do talk about, he created everybody because he created humanity because he was lonely.
He was lonely.
Yeah.
So he does have, certain emotions that, we are, humans were created in the likeness of God. So.
And then abandoned 2 seconds later.
Well, if he
got bored with us super fast.
Yeah, well, then if he does then have the emotions or similar feelings as do humans, then he's going to experience things like anger, which he does. He flooded the earth to clean it. He's experienced things like we just saw. He's very narcissistic. This story is about me. It's not about her. So he doesn't want anyone to talk about her or mention her at all. So he might experience stuff like, disappointment, which he has, and he did say he was disappointed.
He's been very disappointed in all the angels before.
And the failures of his experiments, which were us, So he's done. So Metatron
it's weird that we keep switching from like us as if he's our God, and then referencing it as humanity, like their humanity. I don't.
They're kind of like, it's hard not to do it, but Metatron has an uphill battle to fight in this episode, and convincing God that we are worth saving, we are worth him stepping up and becoming the father figure that he's supposed to be, and the fact that he did that. Someone posed a question: did that redeem Metatron from all the bad that he did? How do you feel?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think so. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. You just saved all of humanity forever. Not like end of the world type stuff, but like end of existence type stuff.
Right, because, I mean, he was made out from the beginning of when he first was introduced as a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you would hate to see, again, someone either as powerful or the guy who actually met God or talked to God and had that experience with him be a bad guy. And he's been really a dick the entire time.
Yeah.
He tried to make himself God, and he admitted himself in this episode that he did a fucking horrible job being God.
Nobody's done a great job being God, including God.
Right. So, but God had the ability, people, at least other angels, and he expressed himself that they felt the love from God, that light that was shown upon them, it was something incredible, and he felt special, beyond special. That's something an angel is not going to be able to do, to have that feeling or give that feeling to another angel, as something only God can do to at least an angel of that level, was be able to just either fluster them or make them fall in love with him. He was in love with God from the second he chose him.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of, that's something special. That's only one thing.
Also a little incestuous, but
yeah,
you know,
well, whatever.
it's supernatural.
I mean, he created things to love him. You know,
yeah.
it's weird. You know, like, I'm going to create this thing that's going to love me so much. Like, I guess that's what you do with a dog, I guess, too. Or, I don't know if cats, you're a cat person. I don't know if
cats don't love you.
unconditionally.
They hate you.
They kind of, they
hate you and plot your death all the time. So what does that say about me that I have cats?
Right. I'm a dog person, so I love the fact that a dog has that unconditional love, and maybe that's why people have them around, because they love you
I
unconditionally.
respect my cats when they tell me to fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's
It's like,
right.
I like you even more now.
I'm like, you're good. Good.
I like your honesty. But yeah, no, I think he totally redeemed himself. If it was not for him, in the show,
If not for him, show over.
yeah, show over. It's done. Amaro wins. Game over. God presses the restart button, and you're done. So he definitely saved everybody, and it kind of, I think.
But will anybody ever know?
Maybe.
Will Metatron get credit for this?
Maybe Metatron will write his own autobiography after this is all done.
Nobody would believe that shit.
So the other thing was, I think the turning point for God that kind of set him off, and maybe really thinking about it, was when Metatron called him a coward.
Yeah.
He said, "You are a coward. You are either..."
Metatron took that safe place seriously, and he got in his face.
Yeah, because God got angry. He pushed him back through the doors, roughed him up a little bit because he got angry.
Yeah.
He got flustered. He was hitting all the right buttons. He knew all the buttons to press.
Yes, he did.
And he pressed them.
Yep.
So he called him a coward, and God said, "If there's one thing I'm not, is a coward. I've been called so many things throughout the, time."
But I mean, coward is a really great way to kind of, I feel, accurate for this universe depiction of God, though.
He was a coward because he didn't face his failures.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just like took off on him. He's a coward because he's not facing his sister.
Mm-hmm.
He's a coward now for not trying to fix the problem.
For ignoring everybody's prayers. He's just, kind of a dick and a coward.
So, yeah.
So attractive.
I think that's where everything really changed out, or changed, everything changed for God. And then he set off to now write the new version with all the suggestions that Metatron had made for him. And he starts writing. Meanwhile, things are getting desperate. Sam is dying. People are turning, and they're breaking through the door.
Can we backtrack for just one second? Go. God writing his autobiography, when he's doing the rewrite after Metatron gets in his face, and he's writing a real autobiography now instead of the fluff piece he had before. There's a computer set up on the bar. God doesn't own like a laptop or a Mac. Like, he has a full-on fucking huge computer with a huge monitor, like old school. Like,
well, I think
you can't get like a MacBook Air to type on or something. Like,
he was totally hipstering it for sure. He was doing it on. I'm surprised it wasn't a typewriter. I felt like when good and God just snap his finger and make it happen. But when he threw the old autobiography in the air, I thought he was going to throw it in the air, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, and it came back like done in his hand.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, like that's God has the ability to do that. Why is he typing? What's God's words per minute? He's doing like 32 words per minute. You know, it was just I thought it'd been cool if he could have done something like that, but he didn't. He was sitting there writing.
Yeah, he's actually. Why is he actually physically typing
it actually
out?
It took him time to do it. Yeah.
Why is that?
It just
I
seems
don't
so
know. I
beneath
guess to
him.
take up more time.
Yeah, we're making.
Thank God it did. Otherwise, Metatron never could have gotten to him.
No, he was totally hipstering it out with the whole cat blog thing and learning how to play guitar. Or he gave himself the ability to play guitar. He didn't learn it. He's like, I just gave myself the ability to do it. So anyway, so he rewrites it, and he goes and grabs a guitar and starts playing.
Yeah.
Did you fall in love with him more as he was playing or it became more sexy to you?
Well, I knew that he was going to play because Rob had tweeted about it earlier. So I knew that Rob was going to be playing in the show. So I was excited about that.
I thought you weren't into spoilers.
That's not a spoiler. It was just something Rob tweeted.
Oh.
They don't tweet out spoilers. Just, hey, I'm going to be in the episode and I'll play the guitar. Like, I get to sing.
So, yeah, he starts playing, and it's very, like, an emotional moment, I guess.
I honestly, at that moment, did not know what God had chosen to do because the drink song, it seemed very final. Like, he was just, like, this was the end of all humanity, and we were just going to get the Metatron and God show for the next couple episodes, and that was it.
Yeah, so Metatron is like hesitant to read it. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
God, should I even read it? And God, of course, is like, go read it. And he starts reading. He starts realizing what, he's going to be doing. And as he's reading, you go to the next scene, which is, back to where Sam and Dean are, and everything is or at least Dean starts screaming up in the air. I don't know whether he's talking to God or he's talking to his girl, and he's like, stop this. He starts screaming, his little thing, and everything stops. People who were banging the door stop banging. He looks down at Sam. Sam's infection is gone.
Yeah, everything's
kind of back to
good.
normal.
All the people who were dead are now alive.
Yeah,
people who had been shot in the face, perfectly fine.
Right, and
all is
that's
big
one
reset
thing.
button.
Well, that's what we had talked about before, was the fact that now that God really is in the picture, that he has that kind of power to bring people back from the dead and make everything all okay. Does that make now all the damage that Amara did, or even demons or whatever, does that make it all non-void? And was it even worth going through all that trouble if he has the power just to make everything okay and done?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I don't know. So then as they're walking through the streets, people, like you said, that had been shot in the face come back. Everything seems back to normal, and then Chuck appears in front of Sam and Dean, and then their amulet, which was the gift that Dean gave Sam when they were much younger, starts lighting up, and that's for them.
Amulet, if you will.
That it starts lighting up to confirm that yes, this is God. We are in the presence of God, and they are like in shock. They cannot say a word, and then Chuck says, "Well, we got some stuff to talk about."
Yeah, we got to chat.
And it was fucking great, and I loved it. I just hit this fucking table when I made it last time, but it was awesome.
It was so good.
It was such a great,
really
finish. It was awesome, and
I mean, it was weird how many loose ends this episode tied up for something that was not a series finale or a season finale. Even it tied up so many loose strings everywhere.
Yeah, so it was a great episode. I can't say more about it, but now comes just really quick. We'll wrap it up and theorize about what's going to happen now. How is God going to use Sam and Dean? Is he going to fight Amara? Is he going to save Lucifer? He said he's not going to make Metatron an angel again, which I think it's wrong. I think he should definitely make him an angel. He's proven. Well, at least I feel like he should be an angel now. He's kind of now gone from the bad side to the good
humanity.
side.
God doesn't give a shit
but
about
God
that.
said he's not going to make him an angel because he abused his powers.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know if God's going to stick to that or is going to give him back his grace. Is he? I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But he's definitely using Sam and Dean for something.
Yeah.
Could be the friendship between them and Cass. It definitely has to do with the Dean and Amara relationship. He knows what's going on with that.
And, I mean, God has to have a special connection because he's saved them before. So it's like, what makes them so special? That's what I wanted. Like, that's the kind of questions that I want answered. Like, why are you... There are so many other people in the world.
Right.
Why are you so focused on Sam and Dean? Are you really talking to the Pope?
Well, as as much as was explained in this episode, as much information we got out in this episode, I'm sure that they're going to maybe explain some of that. Why are Sam and Dean so special, and why has he helped them out continuously throughout all these seasons? It's going to be a great finale. Now, how many more episodes have we got? Do you know?
We have 3 more this season.
Wow, 3 more this season?
I know.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Oh, my Chuck. I'm going to start saying, oh, my Chuck from now on. And Chuck.
I always said, I've always been like, oh, my Joss for Joss Whedon. He's always been my god before. It may need to change. I may need to start saying, oh, my Chuck.
In Chuck, we believe. In Chuck, we trust.
In Chuck, we trust.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be some great. I mean, I can't believe there's 3 episodes left.
Yeah, we've got All in the Family, where, concerned for Castiel, Dean and Sam devise a plan to rescue Lucifer from Amara's clutches. I feel like that's not the appropriate follow-up to what we just saw. Like, why do we need to devise a plan to rescue Lucifer from Amara's clutch? Like, obviously God's like, nah, I'm not going to help you out with that shit.
I don't know. But...
I don't know. And then the episode after that is called We Happy Few, which is a reference to the St. Crispin's Day speech. So that ought to be interesting.
How do you know that?
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers.
You are so smart. You impress me. I mean, every time.
Literally, I only know that because of Buffy in The Gift. Giles and Spike are talking before they go into battle with Glory, and they change the words. We few, we happy few, we band of buggered.
Every podcast, I think you surprise me more and more.
All of my knowledge. Anything that you think sounds smart, I totally just got from TV.
Listen. I have a bunch of useless information too, but doesn't make me sound any smarter.
I was watching Jeopardy the other night, and I destroyed this category on Norse mythology, literally only from watching Marvel movies. Literally my entire knowledge. But yeah, so we've got All in the Family, where it's a plan to rescue Lucifer from Amara, and then we've got the episode called We Happy Few, which airs on the 18th. We only have episode title so far. And then season finale, I don't have an episode title yet. I don't even have an episode title on it. So.
Well, I cannot wait. I feel that is just going to continue to get better and better and better.
But where does it go in season 12?
Well, I think you'll have a better understanding when we get to the last episode. I really can't speculate now. I mean, who would have speculated that God would have showed up so early on prior to the season finale? I mean, the fact that he's going to play a huge role in the next 3 episodes is big.
Is he, though? Because I don't think he's showing up in the next episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe not. Could be. I mean, I don't know. What I do...
Yeah, he is in the next episode.
Yeah, he's I mean, you can't leave off where you...
we get to see Mark. Mark is back in the next episode next week.
Coolio.
Nice. So that... Spoiler alert, I guess they're successful then.
Listen, man, this Supernatural has gotten so much better in the writing and...
When they get to it. Look, this one episode was amazing. And they've had a couple solid episodes this season. But let's not forget that they've had quite a few pointless fucking shitty episodes.
Right.
Like, it's been hit or miss this year.
Well, it can't all be gold.
I mean, none of them were... we didn't have bugs, which was another reference. I loved that. It wasn't bugs level of bad, but we've had a lot of boring episodes this season. I feel like I've been shitting on the show too much this season, and I love it. I do. I just don't know why it's been so bad, but it's been hit or miss, and I don't know that they're going to finish it on a high note. I hope they do. I hope they get it right. Yeah. But I don't know what direction that is. I won't know until they tell me, and then I'll be like, yes or no.
The last thing I'm going to leave you with is what I wish would happen, me being a fanboy, of a mainly apparently girl show. I feel like God needs to give Sam and Dean a power-up. He needs to make them archangels. They're going to be the new Lucifer and Michael.
They don't need to be super...
Bam!
They're the old Lucifer and Michael.
No, I'm saying like they're going to be now... like, given power-ups. They're the new generation. They have saved, countless people. They probably killed countless people, too.
Would they be okay with that, though? Like, I mean...
They have no homes to go to. They have no happy ending. They can continue fighting baddies for all of eternity. But I feel like they need a power-up of something. Give them something. Give them a lightning bolt. Give them
I don't think Dean would
wings.
take it.
What?
I don't think Dean would take it.
If he could be with his bro forever, yeah.
I don't think Dean would be into it.
Oh, well, that's what I want to happen.
I want Dean to go off on. I want Dean to be like, I ain't gonna. No, none of you. I want Dean to be like, go fuck yourself, God. We'll figure this out on our own. Like, that's kind of what I'd like to see.
Yeah, maybe there's like a whole no sex policy, and Dean's like, no thanks, that's not for me, guys.
We haven't seen him hook up with anybody in a while.
He's been busy. I mean,
he was hooking up with that old lady for a while, or that old lady was trying to hook up with him back at that nursing home.
yeah, no, they're too busy for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have time for worldly pleasures right now. Yeah, no. So it was a great episode. Can't wait for the next one. You have anything else to add? Or are we good?
No,
All right. Until next time.